Hello, all, and welcome. Our podcast series over the last several weeks and for the next couple of weeks has been and will be with Susan Minaya, COO, Chief Learning Strategist, and Executive Coach, talking about 5 things training wants the business to know. Last week, she talked with us about the third thing: training should be a budget line item. This week, Susan talks with us about the fourth thing. Stay tuned to learn more. Hello, Susan. Welcome back.
Hey, Dario. Always good to be back.
Always good to be back. I'm excited to hear about the fourth thing training wants the business to know. So, okay, don't keep me on tenterhooks. What is the fourth thing?
So, the fourth thing is that training should always be part of a change initiative. Yeah, I felt this was an important thing to share with the business because often training gets invited to the change team too late and they end up kind of struggling to catch up and support the change, or they end up having too little runway to really create effective training.
Yeah, when I think about major change initiatives in the organizations we've worked with, our team is often part of the initial change team.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the right way to lead an effective change initiative. So every change initiative stems from a strategic need, Dario, whether it's improving processes, adopting new technology, or actually restructuring. When you're involving the training department at the onset, it really helps ensure that the learning solutions that are being created are aligned with the overall business objectives. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense, yes.
Yeah, because training professionals are really best equipped to identify skill gaps and design programs that not only support the change, but they also enhance employee readiness to meet the new demands. And that's because training professionals are the best people to understand the various audiences in the organization because guess what? They train them all the time. They know who they are. That's their job. This is what they do in and out. So they really understand the deeper areas of the organization that maybe a higher level change team players may not really understand. And so they bring a lot of value in that area. And they're really uniquely qualified to understand how the change initiative impacts employees differently depending on their roles, right? Because they train those roles. So early involvement of the training department really allows for the customization of learning experiences that will meet the needs of all employee audiences across the organization. Because guess what? One size does not fit all, right? That approach just doesn't work. And this happens when training isn't at the table. People think, we'll do this training and everybody will take it. But guess what? It may not be relevant or speaking directly to the people to whom the change is happening. And it can really miss critical nuances and actually hurt the adoption of change. Yeah. So all of the players on a core change team, training professionals, are probably the best postured to really quickly identify and understand the tailored training that's needed for the audiences, and the specific role. Their analysis to identify the training needs, we'll call this out specifically in the areas of audience analysis focus. They do this all the time and they're really good at it, but they have a leg up because they do it every day anyway as part of their role in the organization.
Yeah, I want to say that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they know leaders, they know various departments, they know employee roles because that's their job, right?
Definitely.
To train them. So
Yeah.
they really are important core team players for change initiatives.
Yeah, so, when you look at change influencers, those are often part of change initiatives. You really try to seek them out, and training professionals work with employees in different pockets of the organization all the time for training. And so they really know who great change champions might be, right? Because they know them, they've had them in class, they've had them help them in class, they've had them help maybe smaller change initiatives within their own area of work focus or whatever. And so because of their interactions with those individuals through training, support, and delivery, they can more readily identify who those influencers are. And then the other side of the equation is when we talk about adoption. So effective training helps employees understand why the change is necessary and how it's going to benefit them, right? This can also include clarifying expectations, talking about timelines for change, and the roles employees are going to play in the change process. So when training is woven into the change initiative early, employees are more likely to adopt new systems, behaviors, or processes faster. So this reduces the time it actually takes for the organization to realize the benefits of the change, leading to quicker ROI. Have you ever been like an employee in an organization where there's change, but you kind of get the one-size-fits-all training and it's sort of lost on you? Have you had that experience before?
Yeah, I've had that experience before. It didn't necessarily pertain to my role, or it was just a blanket training and it missed a lot of like the key small details that went along with the role.
Yeah. And did it annoy you because maybe it didn't really impact you, but you still had to take the training?
Yeah, it just felt like a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why training is really critical at the table because they get that.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's kind of like getting everyone singing from the same song sheet, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you have, people know what their role is, they know what they're supposed to do, they understand the timeline, they know how it's going to impact them and what their role is in the change process. And so at least if you can get that clear with people, leaders can take it from there to help also get them through the change curve, right? Which we've talked about before in prior podcasts.
Okay, well, let me pause. So let me take us, a little shift in topic. We
Yeah.
care a lot about metrics. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
do.
how does that play into how training helps the organization with change initiatives? It seems like there would be a direct correlation there. Yeah.
You're right, Dario, there is, because training departments can provide valuable data on employee engagement, participation, and knowledge retention as it relates to the training around the change. So, training can say, yes, we trained them on this, they understand these key things, and then we can look at the behavior and go back and evaluate, which we often do 30, 60, 90 days later to really see how it's sticking, right? What they got from it. So I think that allows the organization to see how quickly their employees are incorporating the changes or skills on the job. And what impact is it having on our productivity? So, did everybody get it and start doing it faster? So, are we doing better, quicker? How can it tell us about adoption of the change? That people just aren't doing it. We trained it, but they're not doing it, right? So, that's a different kind of a problem.
Yeah.
But by assessing these metrics really early on and identifying what we're going to use to evaluate that, the change team and leaders can really make adjustments to the change process based on that feedback. And that evaluation and feedback loop is critically important, and training is really a key player in this area.
Yeah. I knew metrics were in there somewhere.
Absolutely, especially if it's coming from MLGS. Yeah, the early involvement of the training department in change initiatives is really critical for both the immediate success and the long-term sustainability of organizational change. Training professionals really can help connect the dots for strategic alignment, the what, the why, the how of the change for employees, which helps really accelerate that adoption, all of which are really essential for a smooth and effective transition.
I'm feeling very important.
You should. You are important, Dario.
Thank you. Affirmations. Okay.
Yeah, all training and development people are important. And so when organizations include training professionals at the onset of change initiatives, it really increases the speed, effectivity, the inclusiveness, because they think more broadly about it, and adoption of the change, right?
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you, Susan. That was very insightful. I believe as an executive coach, you actually help coach learning leaders on change leadership.
Yeah, that's true, Dario. I do. Change leadership is really one of the areas of focus for my coaching practice for learning leaders. So while learning leaders are effective at supporting change initiatives, there can be a lot of power dynamics and a lot of emotion and communication things to consider for a learning leader to be effective when working on core teams in a change initiative or even leading change within their own organizations.
I know your background and career experiences, and know for a fact that you have been through many large-scale change initiatives as a learning leader in an organization and supporting your clients and understand the challenges there.
Yeah, that's for sure, Daria. So I know of what I speak.
All right. Well, thank you, Susan, for another enlightening podcast session on the fourth thing training should be part of every change initiative. We're going to say that one more time. The fourth thing training should be part of every change initiative. Until next time, when Susan shares, you guessed it, the fifth thing training wants the business to know. Until next time.
Can't wait.